Hello everyone, welcome to today's video on how to be successful in online learning. My name is Mark Lopez and I'm here to provide some tips and tricks on how to master learning in an asynchronous environment. First, I just want to say welcome to TKU. We are so excited to have you here. We know that this is a huge step into your calling, and just know that we are praying with you, we are walking in with you, and we're really here to help you succeed in the best way possible to achieve your calling after you get your degree from the King's University. Who is this guy talking to you in a random square on a Zoom video lecture? My name is Mark Lopez. I am the Associate Director of Academic Technology, which I'll go over more in a little bit here. And I'm just here to give you some tips and tricks on how to master learning in an asynchronous environment. What does that word mean, asynchronous? Asynchronous means that you are basically learning fully online in an environment that is really tailored around your schedule because you have a lot more freedom than what you would typically have in an on-ground class. So if you're watching this, hopefully you are an online student or a mix of on-ground and online student, and we'll be going over how to best succeed in an online environment. And whether you are a first-time freshman coming back to school for the first time in years, or you're already a veteran of school and you just love doing school, like I really hope all our students do, I'm really here to help you, give you some best tips on how to get a every single semester and how to really become a successful student here at the King's University. So first, again, who is this random guy that is speaking to you on screen? My name is Mark Lopez. I'm the Associate Director of Academic Technology. Essentially what I get to do here, and what I have the privilege of getting to do, is really working with Blackboard as well as our Zoom classrooms here on campus. What that typically means is that anytime that there is a issue with Blackboard, which could be a lot, or anytime that there is any small issue within a classroom, I am there to help swoop in and provide some direction or answers and solve the issue in itself. I'm also here to really just help students best accomplish any way that they can in learning online. I know it could be quite daunting at first, so I'm just here to really be a providing and hopefully peaceful voice through the entire situation and help them figure out how to best succeed in an online environment. I am also able and have the privilege to get to teach English 1301 both online and on ground, as well as 1302 both online and on ground. So I have quite a familiarity with both online learning and online teaching. I did my primary degrees mostly on ground with a few mix of online classes in between, but I love getting to teach online. I love getting to work with students online, whether they are on ground or online. I just truly love it. And truly at TKU, we truly believe that we are one campus. We're not on ground versus online. We're not on ground and online. We are one community altogether. And that's truly a motto that we live by and what we really try to establish in our classroom, both on ground and online environments. So first, welcome to online learning. Being an online student means really having advanced freedom. Really, you get to learn where you want, learn when you want, and get to turn in assignments, not necessarily at any time you want, but at a time that works best for your online classrooms. And in between that, you get to do your homework at a time that works best for you. So whether you are just a student that likes to learn online and decides to prefer school, or you're someone that is working full-time and have to do school in the evenings, online learning is a fantastic environment for you. Asynchronous means learning and really ultimately being responsible for your education. So online learning, one, gives you a lot of freedom. And of course, as we know, freedom can be fantastic, but it can also be a little bit too much freedom. So asynchronous learning will essentially mean that you're responsible for your learning at your own time, at your own pace. Not necessarily at your own pace in terms of when you turn in your assignments, but when you get to do your work at your own time. So that also really means that staying motivated in learning and staying motivated for your class is really a lot left to you. And that is a lot of pressure sometimes. That is a lot of pressure to really navigate through your entire semester and figure out, how can you best pass this class and stay motivated every single week, week in and week out. And that is something that I am very passionate about and helping you achieve as we move forward in this session. So first, I'm going to go over a couple of tips and tricks to best master how to get, online through the entire semester and get an A in your class at the very end of the session. So first tip and trick that I have is, of course, this is for all of our IT friends here and all of our IT helpers here at TKU, is get acquainted with your systems, whether that is Blackboard, student portal, email. we have, maybe 3 different systems that you really got to use on a weekly basis here at the King's University. Your student portal is how you will sign up for classes every semester, how you will check your grades every semester, and how you will really look forward to advising and what classes you need as you come up every semester itself. Your email is incredibly important. Your email currently is a student Gmail, and it is incredibly important for all information, all notifications, all updates that are happening at the King's University. Also, from a professor point of view, on myself, we love emails. We love sending you emails. We love receiving emails. We love getting to communicate. We are really over communicators by trade. That is what we do. So emails are incredibly important to use at the King's University. And finally, but last but not least, Blackboard. Blackboard is essentially, if you can imagine, your school online. Everything that you need to do your homework, to catch up on your readings, to do all your exams, can all be done in Blackboard. You should have your student Blackboard account as you register for the King's University classes, and you'll receive access to Blackboard pretty automatically. So once you get Blackboard, you should log in, make sure that all your classes are there. If they are not there, make sure to contact someone and know where you can get help immediately for your classes. Blackboard is essentially where your classes live. They are where you find your discussion boards, everything in between. So navigate Blackboard, learn how to use Blackboard, get acquainted with what it looks like, jump in between various classes, get to know where everything is in each class. Not every professor makes their class the same. Most of them do, but every class has little tiny differences in between. So definitely know how to navigate your courses and get to know each and every single class, because they are very individual entities in itself. But also know where to go for assistance. This is a fantastic tip to use. So what I always like to say in my classes is, if you are joining an online education environment or any type of education environment in general, to get into education is to learn, and to learn is to grow, and to grow is to realize that sometimes you are going to have some mistakes made, or you're going to have some issues come across. And it is okay to come across issues. Issues are planned, that it happens, that is how you grow, that is how you best succeed. So to help mitigate those issues and to help know how to get assistance for any issue you go to, know where to go for that assistance. So for instance, if you email blackboard@tku.edu, that will go directly to me and my team for any Blackboard help. So for instance, if you are taking an exam and for some reason your exam starts to freeze, glitches happen, internet is a finicky thing, we love it, we hate it, we never know what's going to happen with it. If your exam, for instance, freezes, and you close it out, and then you look back in your Blackboard class and you see that you got a grade of a 50 because your test didn't go all the way through. Well, what do? You should email automatically both your professor and email blackboard@tku.edu. So if you email blackboard@tku.edu, it will create a ticket. We will see it automatically. And we will respond as soon as possible, if not within the couple hours the next day. And we'll be able to help there with your classes. We will also be able to communicate with your professor on your behalf if you do run into any issues with that. So email blackboard@tku.edu for any Blackboard help whatsoever. It'll go directly to me and my team. We love to look at them. We love to help make Blackboard as easy as possible. But if you run into any other issues, say if your Microsoft Word crashes, or say you got logged out of your email, or anything in between, you can always email helpdesk@tku.edu for IT help. Again, that is helpdesk@tku.edu for any IT help in general. That will go to the entire IT team, the entire information technology teams, not just me, but all of us. And we'll all be able to look at it, we'll all be able to respond, and we'll all be able to collaborate together to help solve any issue that you come across. The last online tip and trick is learn your class schedule and write it down somewhere. So what that means is essentially every class operates on a very specific week schedule. So if you enter in week 1, for instance, you will have sometimes a discussion board due on Wednesday night, and then you'll have one more assignment, say an essay, due on Sunday night. If that is a schedule that seems to be for most of your classes, the Wednesday night and Sunday night, write that down. Write it down somewhere, save it somewhere, get to know that you have assignments due on Wednesday night, then on Sunday night. Get to know when the assignments are, write down your class schedule. If they have every now and then online meetings every Thursday. For instance, I love doing online meetings every Thursday night. Please make sure to write that down. Get to know when to connect with your professor the best, when to connect with your class the best, and when to turn in your assignments in a timely manner every single week. To go through all this also means a lot of heavy communication. Be in contact with your professor from the very beginning. The moment you sign up for a class, shoot an email, send them know. Let them know that you are in the class, that you love what you are excited to learn, that you are excited to be at TKU, that you just want to get to know them a little more. And more than likely, we'll respond really within the day or within the hour. Whenever I get an email from my students at the very beginning of the semester, I get excited to get to respond, to let them know that, hey, I'm going to be there for you the entire semester. We are not here to fail you by any means. We're not here to cause any detriment to your life. We want to help learn with you and guide you through the semester to the very end. We are here to work with you, to help you pass, to help you grow, not to fail you automatically, not to cause any issues, but to help you grow into the best student and the best person that you can possibly be by the end of the semester. So communicate, get to know the people you're learning from, get to know the people that are helping you grow in this time. Communicate as often and as possible as you can. And then also, for sure, make sure to take notes. Even if you are learning online, take down physical notes. That seems contradictory to the entire thing, but take down physical notes, learn your class schedule, write it down, and learn how to best succeed in your online environment. The next tips and tricks part 2. Like I said before, get to know your professors and classmates. Email them, ask them for ways to contact, create your community. I am very, very passionate about community. Community is my heart. I did my entire thesis essentially on community for my master program. Community does not stop online by any means. Community is incredibly important, even and more especially so in the online community. You can take a couple different routes. You can go down the online mode of learning and not contact anyone, just do your homework, get the grade, and then graduate at the end of your program. You can do that route, and maybe you might be fine. You can also do a completely different route. You can communicate and you can form community with your online and fellow students. You could send them emails. You could try to find ways to get phone numbers. You could send texts, exchange numbers, exchange even Instagram profile information, anything in between. You can communicate and you can really come together to form a strong online bond, no matter if you see them or not in the future. I have students that I know from my online classes that I am extremely humbled because I know that I may never see them in person, maybe not even until graduation if they come to graduation. But I get to know them very well online. I get to know who they are, what they're interested in, what they are passionate about, and I love it. I have created friends online with students that I got in to teach in countries like Lebanon or in countries like the Ukraine or different things all in between, just because we were able to connect online in a really asynchronous environment. And that is really the beauty of online learning. You get to connect with friends all over the world. You get to have friends that are just taking online in the next city over if you're in the Dallas metro area, or you'd have friends that you're really close with in Europe. And that is the beauty of connecting online, and a really humbling experience to know that the King's University is not one little area in South Lake, Texas, but it's all over the world. And the calling that we try to help is really, global, and it's not a small thing by any means. It's a really big, powerful community. So get to know your classmates, get to know your professor, email them, contact them, find their Facebook, find their Instagram, do anything in between, but really just find a way to really form a bond with your classmates online or on ground. And that way you do not have to go through all this alone. You have people around you that want to help you succeed as well. The next tip that I have, change up the scenery. So you're online, you have freedom, you can do a lot of things. One thing that I did in my thesis program was every single day, I would go to my favorite coffee shop. Probably not the best way to spend money, but I would go to my coffee shop. I would write my thesis there, look at things for about 2 to 3 hours every single day. And then I would go home and work at home for another 2 to 3 hours. And why would I do that? Because one, there's a lot of freedom in learning online, but also you have a chance to really change up your scenery and explore your town, explore your area. It is also good to have those breaks in between. If you are working at one specific area for a certain amount of time, and you're really focused and you're really into it. And then you, as we all normally do, become unfocused. Say if I get one of those Instagram notifications from my fellow classmates, or if I get a Facebook notification, or for some reason I'm at one coffee shop and I get another notification from a different coffee shop that there's a half off sale. This happens to me all the time. You will often become unfocused in whatever environment you are learning, and that is normal. That's a normal thing to do. So how can you become focused again? How can you become focused over your assignment one more time? You could change up the scenery. You could go learn from your coffee shop and go to your local library. You go from your library back to your house. You go from your house back to another area. You have ways to change up the scenery to really explore the community around you, and also figure out, the best way that you learn and in the best environment that you learn. It's not just about the best time that you're learning, but really the best environment that is fantastic for you. Are you someone that likes to learn in a quiet environment? Do you like to learn, really deep and focus and have your own music playing, or have no music playing at all? Or are you someone that likes to really learn from a lot of chaos and a lot of noise around you? Both are fantastic and both are okay. Whatever works best for you is the best way to go throughout your education. Also, going back to learn about how you work best, do you work more focused at night, or are you a morning person? What time do you learn the best in your school? Do you learn the best, maybe in the middle of the night at 3 a.m.? Do you work best often when you're up against the clock, which I don't recommend to do, and we'll talk about that in a bit? Or do you work best when you wake up right in the morning, you have good coffee with you, and you get to submit your essay and turn in your homework for the next day? Whatever works best for you is how you should go about your education. So whether that is changing up the scenery, whether that is working at night, whether that is working in the morning, always find the best ways that work for you in your educational environment. And then as we wrap up, go back and communicate with your professors and your classmates. Email them, ask for ways to contact them, create your community in the best way possible. Online tips and tricks, part 3. Reading class material can be heavy. Like I said, you're learning at your own pace, at your own time, and really all the learning is up to you. It is, when you read, how you read, when you submit your essays, when you write your essays, all that is in your own hands, which is exciting and very cool because you get to do it in certain areas that you wouldn't normally do, or you get to do it at certain times that you wouldn't normally do in an on-ground classroom, but also could be a lot of pressure. And that's 100% okay to feel like it is a lot to do in a short amount of time, and it is a lot to do sometimes. So one thing that I always recommend to my students is read your class material early on. If you know that you have one article to read by Wednesday and a second article to read by Friday, and then somehow a third article to read by Sunday, that's a lot of reading. That is a lot of time to do a bunch of different things. So read it as soon as you can. Carve out a time to read specifically for one class, then carve out a time to read for another class. Create a schedule that works best for you. Once you're done reading, read it again. Really comprehend the material, really comprehend what you're learning. Don't just read it once and respond in your discussion board, or read it once and start writing your essay at 11:55 p.m. when it's due at 11:59 p.m. Read your material early and often. Get to know the material well, read it inside and out. Something that kind of happens with online learning is we have to primarily engage online in discussion boards or in online Zoom meetings or by essays with your professor. So to really engage well, get to know your material well, get to know what you're reading, get to know what you're saying, really be one to challenge a lot of different thoughts and to be able to explore a lot of different thoughts. And to do that well, you got to learn how to read well early on. As someone that went through a master's of creative writing, I did a lot of writing in my time. I did essays more than I could care to admit. I've written quite a bit of different things. But very early on, I remember very distinctly being told that writing is 75% reading. I completely believe that to be true. Writing, communicating is 75% reading, 75% listening. Listen and read early on as best as possible. Create your schedule on how you can read. Create your schedule on how you can best write. But primarily read your material early on, and then create the schedule that best works for you. So another tip and trick that I have is write focused and intermittently. That seems a little contradictory. So write focused, but also take breaks. It is okay to take breaks. It is okay to give yourself moments of reflection, give yourself moments of pause, to not just hunker down and look at your computer for 6 hours a day. That is probably not healthy, even though that is what I do for my job. But give yourself time to get breaks, to get focused, to really look at what you're doing. Essentially, this all boils down to create a schedule for yourself. Don't just say, hey, I am really behind on class. I got to take the next 12 hours of my day and get back into all my work. That is not healthy, and that's probably not good. And that's probably not a good thing to do as you're learning. Give yourself time to really focus, and then give yourself time to rest. We are people here that love, of course, Sabbath. Sabbath is incredibly important to us. It is important to rest. It's important to pray. It's important to worship. It is important to grow. A Sabbath is incredibly invaluable to your learning, giving yourself a day to just reflect, to pray, to enjoy life, and then get back to work afterwards. Even as a professor, as a teacher myself, I know, I work full time. I teach on the side with the King's University. I had to give myself at least one day a week to completely just check out of everything, to just look back, pray, read, worship, do things that make me feel refreshed, and then come back the next day to do everything that I need to do, to grade, to respond to students, to do everything in between. If we as faculty value giving ourselves Sabbath, if we as professionals value giving ourselves Sabbath, you should too. And you should really value that in yourself. So write focus, write intermittently, give yourself a good break, create a strict schedule that you lean to where you're not overwhelming yourself at the end of the week with 24 hours of work, but you're giving yourself at least times in between every single day to write focused and to write in a very specific environment. And then also to the end of that, give yourself power hours of writing. So back to what I explained with my coffee shop experience, I would go to a coffee shop for about 2 to 3 hours to write part of my thesis, and then I would go home for about 2 to 3 hours to write part of my thesis. In between those times, I would get lunch. I would, go back to school, walk around, go to a park, take a nice walk, do different things. But I would give myself power hours of writing. So give yourself moments in your schedule to say, for this 1 hour or even 30 minutes, anything between 30 minutes to an hour is perfect. I am focusing strictly on my homework, strictly on writing that essay that is 12 pages long. I'm gonna give myself an hour to knock out maybe a page or two in between. Give yourself those power hours of moments where you strictly focus. And then when you're done with that power hour, relax, chill, check your phone, go to Facebook, do Instagram, do anything you want, play a video game, but give yourself a way of rewarding yourself for that power hour of writing or reading or doing your homework. I would, for instance, more about my life when I'm doing my thesis, and I'll give myself the power hours of writing and reading and doing all my studying and work. I would reward myself with sometimes a nice ice cream, or I would do something in between. I would just hang out at home. I'll do something that will give myself some relaxation. It is okay to schedule those power hours and then give yourself hours of doing just absolutely nothing. You want to reward yourself and you want to take a break. You want to give yourself time to rest. But you also want to make sure that you have those moments in between your day that you're doing focus and really clear work in it. So to really summarize those last two ones, create a schedule. Create a schedule of relaxation, create a schedule of power hours of writing or work or reading or anything in between. Don't give yourself one whole day of nothing unless that really works for you. And then 24 hours of everything unless that really works for you. But give yourself moments to spread it all throughout the week so you're not one, overwhelming yourself, but you're also not one falling behind. Falling behind is, of course, incredibly detrimental. You don't want that to happen. Communicate with the professors if it is happening off the bat, but also communicate on how you are, feeling a little stressed out. If you're feeling like it's a little overwhelming, tell us, we're here. And going to that last point, do not be afraid. There are safeguards in place to help you succeed. If it seems like a struggle early on, that means you are growing. If it seems like a struggle to keep up with your work, to really catch on with what is happening, don't be afraid to communicate that. I am completely direct with my students that I want to know where they are struggling the most. I want to know where they are having the hardest issue that they have. The more I know about where they are struggling, the more I could help them as they succeed into the end of the semester. The thing that doesn't help me as a professor is when a student that hasn't communicated with me in 4 to 5 weeks at a time suddenly emails during finals week and says, "Hey, I want to pass. What do I do?" That kind of leaves me in a bind. That kind of leaves me in a little bit of a strong situation to where I got to figure out how to best help them catch up on 5 weeks worth of essays and assignments. That is a lot to do, and that's like saying turn in 20 pages by Tuesday. It doesn't work out. And it honestly doesn't help either the professor or the student in that situation. So communicate with us early on. Let us know when you're struggling. Let us know if you feel like it's too much. We are here to help you succeed. The King's University is here to help you succeed. We are, really focused on making sure that there is every avenue for every student to help succeed in their semester. So if you feel like you're struggling early on, you are growing. It is okay to struggle. It is okay to feel like there is pressure. It is okay to feel like you're not exactly doing it completely well. We're going to help learn and grow together. But to also do that, we must really form that community and that bond and to help you feel like we are doing our best to help you succeed in this environment. So do not be afraid. You will struggle. That is okay. You will face challenges in your time here at the King's University. There will be assignments that are quite heavy in your time at the King's University. Do not be afraid of them. Embrace them with an open hand and really know that we are here to help you succeed. So create a schedule, read early and often, get to know material well, write focus and intermittently, give yourself power hours of writing, give yourself power hours in your moment of your strict schedule. And then of course, if you do face any type of struggle, do not be afraid. We're here to help. Communicate with your professor early and often, communicate with your friends early and often. Send tickets to any which person that will respond. We're here to help you throughout your entire process here at the King's University. So last but not least, if you have any questions at all, again, email blackboard@tku.edu for any academic technology issues. If you submit a test and it doesn't go through, if your Blackboard randomly crashes in the middle of the night and you were supposed to turn in your essay that night, send that email to blackboard@tku.edu. We'll be here to help. If your Microsoft Word crashes, or if your email crashes, or if your computer just doing that thing where it won't turn on, we can try to figure that one out. Email helpdesk@tku.edu for any and all other issues. And then finally, if you have any questions or need any resources at all, reach out to the Student Success Center at studentsuccess@tku.edu. Again, that's studentsuccess@tku.edu. You'll be graded by a fantastic team of Alika, Kathy, and everyone in between. They're there to help you succeed. They have all the resources that you could possibly need. They know everyone that you could possibly know. If you need any help whatsoever, please let them know. They will communicate on your behalf. They will do so much on your behalf. It is incredible. They're just incredible resources to help you succeed at the King's University. And again, that is truly the heart of what we want to do. We want you to help you succeed to best achieve your calling after you're done at TKU. Please know that we're here to help pray with you, to help guide you, anything and all in between. If you call our Blackboard number for any help and you just need some prayer to help guide you, that is 100% okay to ask for. Know that we are here to just help you succeed as you venture on into your calling here at the King's University. So again, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. We're so happy that you chose TKU to help you venture into your future and to help be part of your family. And know that if you have any questions at all, we are here to help. This video will end very shortly and you can wrap up. But if you need any assistance at all, please don't be afraid to reach out to me, Mark Lopez, and mark.lopez@tku.edu, or reach out to Student Success. We're just so happy to have you here.